Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. I'm David Asman. Thanks for joining us. Kicking off for the second week in a row, we get awful economic news. Last week it was about jobs. Today it's about the debt. And now the White House is claiming that the numbers really aren't so bad. Former White House advisor David Asman is still out stumping for the president. He is downplaying the bad jobs numbers, but Democrats are divided about what to do. On Tuesday, the administration rejected a jobs bill. It was authored by Senate Democrats, saying it would cost too much. The more liberal Democrats were furious. On Wednesday morning, MoveOn.org announced it would be stirring things up a little, with former Obama czar Van Jones leading the charge for more government spending. Sounding like he was about to start something. Van Jones warned the administration, quote, "I think the entire D.C. establishment is about to get a huge wake-up call in the austerity versus jobs question." What that wake-up call is, we don't exactly know, but let's try to find out. Starting tonight with details of the deficit number from our man in Washington, Peter Barnes. So, Peter, how bad is it?
Well, David, the Treasury Department reported today that the deficit in the month of May fell to $58 billion. That was more than half from May of last year, when it was about $136 billion.
But it's still over $1 trillion, and year to year, this ain't pretty.
Well, and the reason that we saw this big decline in the month of May was an accounting entry to lower the estimated cost of the TARP bank bailout program by $45 billion. The Treasury has been getting paid back some of that money from AIG in the secondary offering, General Motors in its IPO. But had we not seen that $45 billion accounting entry for the TARP, the deficit would have been over $100 billion in May.
All right. Now, we are still being told, I know the president says he owns the economy now, or other Democrats are saying he does own the economy, but we're still hearing talk about this all because of the Bush tax cuts. How much of this deficit was actually caused by new spending in the Obama-Pelosi era, which began, I guess, in January 2007?
Well, some of it. Let me show you what the outlays are for the year to date. For the first 8 months of the year, I have a graphic for you. So far, this fiscal year, the government has spent $2.412 trillion. That's up from $2.282 trillion at the same time last year. That's an increase of $130 billion. And let me break some of that down for you. A chunk of that, $42 billion, is entitlement spending. That's Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare. That's on cruise control. Debt interest was up by $27 billion because the debt has grown so much in the last year. And the cost of bailouts actually was up by $60 billion, some crazy accounting there. So those were the big drivers. Some of that, for example, the Medicaid spending and entitlements, is extensions of the president's stimulus programs.
All right, Peter Barnes in Washington. Thank you, I think. This is awful news, no matter how you cut it. Let's bring in tonight's most valuable panel. We have Peter Schiff of Euro-Pacific Capital, Democratic strategist Nancy Skinner, and radio talk show host Tammy Bruce. All right, Nancy, first to you. As a Democrat, there is a split. The president says that he doesn't like what Senate Democrats have suggested by spending more in stimulus money. In fact, you have MoveOn.org threatening some kind of action. We don't know exactly what, but saying that there's going to be a huge wake-up call coming if the president doesn't go along with Senate Democrats. Do you agree with MoveOn?
Well, Dick Cheney said that deficits don't matter, David. Remember that? So now they do matter, I guess.
But the question is Democrats. Okay. There is this split among Democrats. Yes. Now, which side of that split are you on?
You know what? You have to have jobs. There are two. It's the math. You have to have jobs to grow the economy. Just cutting jobs right now is going to send us in a deflationary spiral. So I say we need more. It's 9.1% unemployment. This was the deepest recession since the Great Depression.
So you're against the president, who says what the Senate Democrats are calling for, more stimulus spending, is, and I'm quoting them, too costly.
No, what you got to do is get rid of some of these subsidies. $800 billion for the wealthiest 2% to extend those tax cuts. $30 billion in oil subsidies. Get rid of this stuff.
Okay,
and put that into jobs.
But again, You are in
Pay
favor
for
of
it.
what the Senate Democrats are doing, not what the president wants to do.
I want to invest more in infrastructure,
So,
big
yes,
projects,
okay.
and pay for it.
Peter, the point is here, the president has found at least some kind of religion in realizing that we have tried this spending and taxing and spending more money that we don't have, and it hasn't been working. He's against what the Senate Democrats want to do. Is he going to hold sway working with Republicans?
Well, I don't know if I'd give him that much credit, but first of all, you know, letting people keep the money they earn is not a subsidy, right? The government is taking money away from people, and in fact, if we raise taxes, that is an economic sedative. It will destroy jobs. But the problem is the stimulus has been destroying jobs for years. It's been undermining the economy. We are overdosing on government stimulus. The more the government stimulates the economy with cheap money and government spending, the weaker it's going to get and the more jobs we're going to lose.
You know, I got to give you credit. You once told me when all this stimulus spending started a couple of years ago, you said it's like giving yourself a transfusion from one arm to the other because the money comes out of the private sector, is supposed to go back into the private sector, but then there's a string in between, a tube in between, and you lose blood.
You spill half the blood on the floor. Yeah, that's government stimulus. And the problem is the jobs that are destroyed are the jobs that we need that produce wealth, and the jobs that the government creates destroy wealth.
Even Mark Zandi, a Republican, McCain's advisor,
Mark Zandi is a rhino, for God's sakes.
Mark Zandi is wrong. He's never gotten anything right about the economy. So don't quote Mark Zandi to me.
When consumer spending completely dried up to nothing, what do? You have to have stimulus.
We need consumer spending to dry up. They've spent too much. We need more savings. We need more capital investment. That's part of the problem.
Well, I think we need to let both the producers and consumers do what they want to do. The government's been trying to tell them too much. We got to get away from this nanny state, don't we, Tammy?
There's another man faced a similar situation. It was President Reagan. And what he did was he cut tax rates from the upwards of 70% down to 29%. Now, for some people who think that only government is the solution, they don't trust the public sector at all. That seems counterintuitive. The fact of the matter is that's what creates jobs. The only thing that matters and that affects all of this, including the debt, tax revenue, and everything else, is letting the private sector do what it does best, which is hire people, create jobs, keep the fruits of their labor. All this argument about the minutia is a government kind of argument. Get out of our houses, get out of our business, and let us do our thing.
I got to ask, though, Nancy, what do you think Van Jones is up to? What do you think MoveOn.org, when he says the entire D.C. establishment is about to get a huge wake-up call, what are they planning?
By the way, Reagan had to raise taxes again after he cut them, but
because the Democrats kept spending.
All right, stop history. What is going to happen in the future? What is Van Jones
I think
planning?
they're saying that. Look, and Paul Krugman today hit this too on the head. This fanaticism about protecting the deficit over jobs is misplaced. We have to grow our
Nancy,
economy.
you're not answering the question at all. Nancy, it's a very simple question. Van Jones said the entire D.C. establishment is about to get a huge wake-up call. He's directing this to the president because the president is turning down the calls for more stimulus spending. So what is Van Jones planning to do against the president?
They want to invest in big infrastructure.
I know that's what they want, but what are they planning to do
we
against
can't
the
afford
president
high-speed rail. We're broke.
Hold on,
we can't afford
Peter, hold on.
Nancy has never hit anything on that. He's always wrong.
What is Van Jones planning?
I think that the left that wants these jobs and these green jobs to be invested in are mobilizing, much like the Tea Party did against the Republicans.
Where is the government?
I have a prediction, David.
Where's the government going to get the money?
Where's the government going to go ahead?
I have a prediction. Everyone's mobilizing on those green jobs. So it's going to be wind power, and it's going to take them 11 years to get to where they're going because there's not going to be any power with them.
Where does the government get?
I can't.
Go ahead, Tammy.
Well, I just think that the biggest threat, I suppose, for Washington right now is that all of them will be exposed as having no pants on at all beneath their desks. I mean, that would probably be the biggest revelation of all with what these guys are doing. I mean, all of these things, really, it's what have we learned in the last 2.5 years? What Barack Obama and the Democrats are doing doesn't work.
Well,
it's that simple. We need to do the opposite of what they've been doing.
My question is, so where's the government going to get the money for high-speed rail? Where's it come from?
Because we have to invest in it.
But where is it going to get the money?
We cut $800 billion in tax.
Nobody's got a job. Where are you going?
Okay,
cuts for the wealthy, $30 billion in oil subsidies.
Wait.
All these other special interests.
You want to raise taxes on higher income earners?
No, I want to go back to the Clinton years.
But that's a tax increase. So you want to take money from some people and use it to build high-speed rail.
The top 2%.
Right, but what would those top 2% have done with that money to create jobs if you left it in their hands?
They're not buying anything more. They're not contributing. investing into the economy.
Guys, I
buying
love
stuff.
the discussion, but we have run out of time.
Buying
we have
stuff doesn't
no
create
more
jobs.
time at all. Zero. We have totally. And here's another taker. The EPA is taking 600 jobs. That story tops tonight's 2-minute drill, and we have the most valuable and the most beautiful panel. Democratic strategist Krystal Ball, liberal radio talk show host Nancy Skinner, and conservative radio talk show host Tammy Bruce. So let us fire up the clock. Well, Ohio-based American Electric Power will cut up to 600 jobs to comply with proposed EPA regulations. It's one of the largest electric utilities in the land. They will also shut down several coal-fired power plants, and that's happening all over the country. So while we're racking up job losses quick enough as it is, shouldn't the EPA just chill out for a while, Krystal?
Well, first of all, let's put the numbers a little bit in context, because these are numbers that are coming from the company who do want to lobby for an extension on compliance. That being said, I actually agree with you. They want to comply. They just want a little more time and flexibility. I think given the fact that we are still in a tough economy, that's a reasonable request.
This is a sensible liberal I have next to me, Nancy. What about you?
Occasionally.
Don't be an
I
insensible
must
liberal.
disagree. We're both two women who ran for Congress as Democrats. The coal jobs are black jobs. The future is in green jobs. We probably have lost more miners than the 600 jobs that AEP is talking about. By investing in a whole new generation of hydrogen and solar technologies, we're creating clean, good jobs and growing big new industries here in the United States.
Like clean, new fluorescent bulbs, which I hate, Tammy Bruce. I'm going to collect as many incandescent bulbs as I can over the next 7 months when they become outlawed because of this new outrageous green bill that's coming into effect. But what do you think of all this?
Well, you know, the new green bulbs are causing fires right now, so that's the ultimate light giver, which is fires. But I don't think we'd want that in our house. Look, the idea of green jobs. I want all kinds of jobs. I want all the kinds of jobs that can never exist. Right. But right now, you've got a massive unemployment. The people that are out of jobs, and those people who are going to lose those jobs, they're not thinking about maybe someday I'll be able to work in the solar panel company. We need to get real about what's happening right now. And clearly, the president and regulations and big government have never done a nation any good, and they're proving right now why that is. They kill jobs and they kill industry.
Right, and there is such a thing as clean coal. I know nothing is ever perfectly clean, but you can create a lot of jobs.
Carbon capture and sequestration.
I go with the true. All right, while the debate rages over whether Congressman Anthony Weiner should resign, his wife seems to be sticking by him. Huma Abedin, I hope I pronounced her name right, photographed in Abu Dhabi tonight sporting a big smile on a diplomatic mission with Secretary Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State. And look at this, she is still wearing her wedding ring. Reports are, of course, that she is pregnant. So should Huma stand by her man? Remember when Hillary, by the way, mimicked that song and said how silly and country western was?
Well, I mean,
they're standing by their men.
I'm very reluctant to judge anyone else's relationship or marriage, but I will say, can you blame her for being happy, for getting out of the States and out of the media coverage into another country and focusing on her job and having some time with their mentor as well?
That's right. That's right. Everybody should. They're talking about chilling out. I think they need a little chilling session. But should she stand by her man?
Well, first notice that this is always congressmen. This is like congressmen gone wild.
Right.
You don't see
Why we need more women in Congress.
That's true.
Barbara McCall. Yeah, or Susan Collins tweeting their breasts. You just don't see that happening, okay? So why is that?
All sorts of images and lines coming that I don't want to even touch. Go ahead.
What he has done is very creepy, but I don't know that it crosses the line of ending a marriage or having him lose his job.
I don't know. I might lose something more than that if I was to do it in my marriage, Tammy.
Well, you know, what is a marriage except trust and a commitment to each other? If you're going to be doing what you're doing, you do serial dating. I mean, it kind of makes a mockery of what a marriage is supposed to be. Look, and I do believe Huma's happy. She's with a woman that she's been with since she's been about, what, 19 years old when she started interning for Hillary Clinton? Yeah, I mean, sure. I don't know what the marriages are. We know the Clinton marriage seems to be an arrangement. But really, when it comes to messages, by the way, for little girls, yeah, this usually should be a deal breaker, everybody.
All right. You got a last word on this,
I just want to add one thing for your male viewing audience. If you're looking to impress the ladies, we don't want to see a picture of your junk, all right? Send us a picture of you mowing the lawn, doing the dishes,
we sort of figured that out for ourselves.
I want Congress to show us a budget. Wait, David, can Congress show us a budget?
Yeah.
Let's see a budget. A picture of a budget sitting anywhere would be great.
We haven't seen one for over a year. Well, Democrats may want more stimulus, but there is a whole lot they can do before spending more money to encourage job growth, such as allowing Boeing to get on with work in the right-to-work state of South Carolina. Governor Nikki Haley presiding over a ribbon-cutting ceremony today at the new Boeing plant, even as a union-friendly government hearing scheduled for next week. So reduce red tape before spending more money. What do you think about this one, Krystal?
Well, here's what I think. The NLRB is doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing by investigating whether Boeing violated the Wagner Act. That's what they're there for. It's been turned into a political issue. It's really not a political issue. It's about the law. Boeing executives essentially said they were moving to South Carolina to avoid unionization. So it's a legal issue, not a political
But again, it's going to cost them millions of dollars that they could be spending. You know how much these legal fees go up. I mean, this is money that could be spent on expanding and creating more jobs, which everybody admits we need in this country more than anything else.
I have to agree with you on this one, David. I mean, you know, it's jobs, jobs, jobs on this, and so if they need to be fined by, fine them. If they violate a law, fine them. But don't lose those jobs. Don't give these jobs to the Europeans.
And Tammy, a job in South Carolina should be not worth less than a job in the state of Washington. I mean, all jobs, we're all Americans, for God's sakes, and wherever these companies can create jobs, we should be in favor of it, no?
Well, of course, absolutely. But this has been, for Barack Obama, always about empowering the unions. And look, Boeing, no company in this country should be under the boot of unions, which in Washington have struck repeatedly and could destroy a company. Boeing has a responsibility to make sure that their company survives and to employ people when they can. Look, Barack Obama seems to not care about the law. He's in a contempt of court right now over the drilling dynamic in the Gulf. So if the administration doesn't care what the law is, but in this case, Boeing not only didn't break the law, they're looking after their company and their shareholders in the future.
But David, you know, the automakers have worked with their unions. They work hand in hand, and there's no distance between them. It can be done.
All right. Well, and it didn't work out so well in the 70s and 80s, but that's history. Okay. It's time for Buy, Sell, or Hold. We take names and stories in the news and treat them as if they're stocks. Would you buy them, sell them, or hold them? Well, Jennifer Love Hewitt has attained a very dubious title. She is the worst reviewed actress in Hollywood in over 25 years. That, according to an analysis by Rotten Tomatoes, the movie scoring organization. Her average score was 18.9 out of a possible 100. Now, that may be due to a couple of roles in the Garfield movies, but Jennifer Love Hewitt, is she the worst actress? Buy, sell, or hold? What do you think?
I'd say this is a sell. I loved her, and I know what you did last summer.
Good for you. All right, standing up for Jen.
If Rotten Tomatoes said it, it's got to be true.
Oh, Tammy, what do you think of Jen?
I say a sell. I love the Garfield movies. Apparently they didn't.
All right. You know, I'm a sell
I think
on
she's
that,
very
too.
good.
You go, girl. And Scoreboard says Jennifer Love Hewitt is a... they say it's a sell. Okay, we're doing the at-home because we don't have much time. Raising taxes in order to pay for more stimulus. Is that a buy, sell, or a hold?
It's a buy. We've got to focus on getting people back to work first and foremost.
Boy, and I know what you think, Nancy.
Buy, buy, buy. Cut special interest and create jobs.
Bye, Miss American Pie. Tammy?
Obviously, sell. I mean, this is not something that's been working. It's destroying people's lives. I mean, come on, this is like going to work at Caesar's Palace and really believing that you're a gladiator. It doesn't work.
If it doesn't work, you don't continue it. That's why I'm a sell. And at home, you guys vote now.